What's going on, champions? Welcome to another episode of Uncommon Mondays. Let's get the show started, guys. We are on episode 32. Hey, this is Coach Clavon. What an honor and a distinction to be able to be on this platform with you guys from all over the world. The Uncommon movement. It's fascinating, it's empowering, stimulating, it's real. Manhood is a duty. Being a man sometimes takes more than instincts. It takes mentorship, sometimes support, encouragement. Being empowered as a man sometimes takes accountability and support and mentorship and group and team camaraderie. And so we take this platform serious. We take this idea of being uncommon very, very serious. Because I think we're a little frustrated at what's common out there amongst men. What's common is having your dreams deferred. What's common is not realizing your goals. What's common is not having enough money to take care of your family. What's common is not experiencing real freedom. What's common is losing. What's common is being emasculated. No, well, so we say that it's got to be a new day, and somebody's got to step up and create a platform to support and create a shift and a change, invent new possibilities, if you will. And so tonight I want to talk to you about what it is to be uncommon. Tonight I want to have a candid conversation with you guys. And if you're out there watching us on YouTube, please don't forget to like the broadcast. Don't forget to share the broadcast. Don't forget to subscribe to the broadcast. And if you have any comments tonight, leave them. We'll talk. We'll address them. We'll give you a shout out. And I'm going to captain the ship this evening and have a heart-to-heart with you. Again, guys, my name is Coach Clavon, and this uncommon movement was really birthed out of, again, like I said, necessity. I mean, the uncommon movement, guys, if you want to talk about it, it's really the brainchild of my partner, Mr. Dan Putnam. When I met Dan officially, we had a conversation, and I think he was inspired by the fact that I also had a vision of men's empowerment. I look back to growing up at a certain stage in my life in New Jersey, and I will go back to the year 1999 maybe. And I was with this gentleman, Brother Kenyatta, and he wanted to start a program, a rites of passage program for young boys moving into, adolescence and young adulthood. It was called STEP, Striving Together Equals Progress. And we kind of launched it out of my family's health food store. And eventually we would have 10 and 20 and 30 young men from the ages of really 6 or 7 all the way up to 16, 17, preparing them out of high school into college. And a lot of these young men we helped keep out of the gangs. A lot of them came from single parent households, and we supported them. And we toured them around the region and showed them entrepreneurship and had classes on culture, and people would donate computers, and we would teach them about diet, as Brother Kenyatta was a vegetarian, a vegan, a health guru. And we would bring in specialists to tutor them on subjects, mathematics and science, and teach them urban self-defense. And it was a phenomenal experience. And this is going back, again, 25 years ago. So in my last business deal, I started an organization called, the X-Men. And of course, we could not scale it because, that name had other proprietary rights. But it was a great movement here in Texas. And it was, again, about the empowerment of men working together, supporting each other, and creating a platform where other men would say, man, that's a safe place. I can go over there and become a better version of myself. So by the time Mr. Putnam and I connected, we were empowered that we shared the same vision for this season. And if you know me, guys, I mean, I one thing I love is women, and so it's never about, and that love for women goes into a state of honoring, to honor women as they tend to go unprotected, to honor women because they tend to wear the most battle scars. They wear those stripes of just tenacity and perseverance. And I look at the great women in my life, starting with Mom Dukes, the best of the best. And at the end of the day, we always salute, protect, love, and honor, and work hard to prepare comfort for the women in our lives. But at the same time, we knew doing something for men was important. And I like the fact that women have so many empowerment and wellness events and programs, and it's just something we need to duplicate so we can catch up, right, and do our part. And so that was really kind of where the brains started to twirl. And as Uncommon, got born, I could remember, I don't know, I think Dan may have been somewhere in the world right now. He's flying back from Kazakhstan, but now we're going back almost a year, right? And he called me from maybe it was Mexico or Hawaii, and it was early in the morning. And I mean, God had put on his heart this, Uncommon. And we touched and agreed, and and then there were pillars that this movement would stand on. There were ideologies that it would stand on, so it would have substance, so it would be real. Okay, and I want to talk to you about these 5 pillars because they are the heart and soul of the movement. And if you have children, young men, 16 and above, and they need role models, they need an example. Even yourself, this may be something that you want to take a closer look at, the Uncommon movement, because it starts off with an understanding about health and wellness, or what we might call health and fitness. And again, I grew up in a health and wellness store, a mom and pop family business. Ever since I was in elementary school, I would work at that health food store on the weekends, and it was amazing. We had over 500 raw herbs in jars all around the store. So exciting. Vitamins, cosmetics, groceries, frozen foods, books. We would even eventually have a restaurant, a lounge in the back, cafe where we did, shots of wheatgrass and vegetable combination drinks and smoothies and sandwiches and salads and soups in a very special place right in the heart of downtown Newark, New Jersey. And we're talking about 40, 50 years, between the stores and New York and Newark, New Jersey, like a 40 plus year legacy, dynasty, so to speak. And I grew up there, and I guess that's where my compassion for holistic health and helping people and healing people. I would meet some of the great gurus of our culture, the Queen of Fuas and the Laila Africas and the Dr. Sabis and just so many others. And, we would start our own vitamin lines and would just see so much and be so inspired. And so I could say, as a certified health consultant, that there is nothing more important than health and fitness. That's why it's the number 1 pillar in the Uncommon movement. And I want to just give some information tonight and remind you that what good is it to gain the wealth of the world, all the materialistic gain, and you can't play with your grandchildren. You can't walk. You have a heart attack, suffering from diabetes, and you develop cancers and things of that kind, all because we didn't take care of our bodies. And so what I suggest is that every man, every human being has a physical fitness regimen that they deal with every single day, and focus on what your diet is and how to detox and cleanse your body. I think the key to health is prevention. not waiting till you get sick. It's disease prevention. And if you wanted to ever go on a nice detox, just give your body a break. One thing I've learned about the body and my experience in the health industry is that God designs you as a self-healing mechanism. And if you would just let your body relax from the task of digestion, it's a self-healing. It will begin to heal itself in miraculous ways. One thing that you can do is take a season, whether it's 7 days, 30 days, 90 days, and leave away the processed sugar, because that's the biggest poison. Leave away the processed starch, more sugar. Leave away the salt, the flour that is processed and bleached, the dairy products that create a tremendous amount of mucus in the body. Get rid of some of the things that are dead in your diet for a 7-day, 30-day, 90-day period, and watch the transformation you experience. Consider putting in your body things that are alive, that have, pure minerals, pure enzymes, the things in your body that will feed the body naturally, not that the body has to identify as something foreign that you really can't digest, and you're just overworking your liver and your kidneys and destroying your bloodstream and clogging up your arteries. What we have to do when it comes to health is take a moment and first detox. That's the key. Detox all the waste out of your colon and your intestines. Detox your blood and your urine. Try to get the mucus and the plaque out of the body, and then try not to put it back in there, right? And as you look at a perfect diet, which is really difficult to accomplish, I've found it extremely difficult with all that I know about the health and wellness industry. I'm an emotional eater. I don't have a tremendous amount of discipline, or I have not shown it consistently in the past. I know that I personally want to use this moment and speak into existence a new day and a new reality, right? And start living it. I mean, start eating foods that, again, are alive, that have the key minerals that your body needs, and most importantly, the right enzymes that the body needs. Stop eating things that are dead, the dead flesh, the processed foods. Stop eating things that are genetically modified. Okay. Try to eat organic, try to eat things that come from the earth. And then you just find your rhythm. You find your rhythm. And if you can add that to some type of activity, because I think it's also important to realize that we're not as mobile. We don't have as much motion as we used to have. So the cardiovascular aspect of life, I think we're losing. So you got to get on that treadmill. You got to go out and walk. You got to do something. Get that jumping rope. Break a sweat. Get those extra toxins out the body and exercise that heart rate. Eating the right foods and having the right amount of exercise is about prevention, and it'll add 10 years. It'll add 10, 15 years to your life. And I think that's something that is the most important thing to, we're talking about uncommon men tonight, ladies and gentlemen, and you got to put your health first, because that is your wealth and that is your true success. And so we look at our second pillar. These are the most important things in life. Now we're talking about financial literacy. Because before I go there, I think you would agree that your health and your time freedom are your two most valuable assets. You only get one body. Well, with modern technology, that'll be kind of changing soon if it's not already. But time is something you can't buy and you can't get back. So I remember when Mr. Putnam and myself, man, when me and Dan were kicking it, when we launched this vision of Uncommon, it was all about freedom. That was the key word, freedom. How do we lead more people to the understanding of how to accomplish freedom? And then we broke down, well, what's freedom? And we were in agreement totally that it was about money and your time, right? Because when you have the money in place, hear me out, you have more time freedom because you're not out chasing a bag to pay your bills. So when you have time freedom and the money, you can sit back and start to realize your purpose. You have less pressure. You can start to do the things that you love, do the things that you were born to do to make an impact on other people's lives. So how do you get this level of freedom? And we figured it out. It was a no-brainer. We share this industry for a reason. Many of us that are watching this broadcast, and some of us, for me, it's been over 25 years I've been in a space where creating residual income has been the number one focus. Creating residual income has been the number one focus. Why? Because I learned a long time ago that linear income was the key to the American rat race. I learned that linear income was a concept of trading time for money. And we already talked about the fact that our time is the key. So linear income, hourly wages, commissions, salary. Linear income, hourly wages, commission, salary, trading time for money, working 40 hours a week for 40 years just to try to retire on less than 40% of what you could barely live on in the first place, trying to pay residual bills with an hourly wage, very, very, very difficult. So the key to freedom is calculate all of your bills. I bet you they come residually. And what I want you to do is don't sleep until you have enough residual income to pay your residual bills. That, my friends, is freedom. So financial literacy is really a concept of leverage. When you have leverage because you have built something where you are making money when you're not working. You have leverage because you built something that's now giving you a residual return. Hence, you have your time freedom. Now, that leverage can come from investments. That leverage can come from building a sales team. That leverage can come from subscribing to a subscription-based business where you have clients buying something. Listen, whatever it takes, leverage is the key to financial literacy. Okay? And residual income is basically the benefit of having leverage. And residual income is where the freedom is because you don't have to trade your precious time for money. Okay? So start looking into the investments and the entrepreneurship and the business systems that you can adhere to that will position. There's nothing more important. There's nothing more important than building a nest egg of financial power through residual income, where now not only can you pay all your bills, you can now take something left over and invest it, whether it's into cryptocurrencies or I don't care what it is, Forex or future trading or, get you a TD Ameritrade account. It doesn't matter what you do. Purchase a couple of homes, get the rental income flowing in. Okay? Build you a network marketing business where you have sales reps all over the world moving products and using products, and you're earning some percentages of all that volume. Do something where you can establish leverage and then make investments and then get so powerful where you're no longer touching the base of your money, the principles of your money. You're now only using your interest to actually survive off of. Now you're using the money that your money makes. And that is very, very powerful. That's financial literacy, my friends. And so that's what we all subscribe to. And we want to show men how to become uncommon, where they can make $100,000 a year. How about $100,000 a month in residual income? That's where we're at with that. Now, so when it comes to health and fitness, when it comes to financial literacy, we believe that personal growth and development is the next pillar that will help the previous two unfold. Because you will always be a reflection of what value you are bringing to the market, to the people, to the community. your growth and development will often determine your income. And I know we're in a world where it's not so much what you know, it's who you know. But if you're imbecile, if you're stuck with an education and a level of wisdom and knowledge that's 15, 20 years ago because you're not growing, well, even those great relationships can often be sabotaged. But if you can take the great relationships of life and merge it with this idea that you are an ever evolving being, you are growing mentally, spiritually, socially, your finances are going to grow. And you're going to take more care of your health as you know yourself better because you tend to love yourself more and pay more attention. Now, I mean, personal growth and development is, sometimes it's just about having the right mentors that can open up doors and teach you things and help you, see things that maybe you don't see. Sometimes it's, what are you reading? What are you watching? What are you listening to? I say it all the time. I just truly believe that life is a grand game of programming. Either you're going to program yourself or you're going to be programmed by external stimulus. And it happens every day. And it's not always bad. Your household, parents coming up, teachers, school systems, the television, religions. What do you think commercials are? It's all one big hustle of programming to control your habits and your behavior. Listen, I say program yourself. Take the responsibility to program yourself. What are you watching? What are you reading? What are you listening to? Who are your mentors? What are you putting in? Are you building up your self-esteem? Are you building up your self-love? Are you building up your self-perception? Are you building up your self-value? Are you building up your self-image? Is your self-perception, your self-esteem through the roof in a healthy way? That's where the focus needs to be. Are you mastering your own emotions? Do you know how to respond with poise, or are you always reacting based on subconscious triggers, stories you're living in from your past? Are you full of trauma that's always giving you low vibrational reactions and feelings? Are you being negative? Well, you can reverse that through personal growth and development. You got to learn the techniques. You got to learn how to kind of heal yourself from things and focus on what I like to call self-control, self-mastery. Because now you become more powerful. And when you become more powerful, you become more attractive. You add more value to everything you touch, more doors open, and you'll see how this will affect your skill set even in your career. You'll just get sharper. You'll be more of an asset. Guys, personal growth and development is everything. I just can remember, being so young, 19, 20 years old, and having my mentor at that time. I'm sure he's watching now. One of my great mentors, Wali Hakeem. And this brother, man, he was very, 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 very powerful. He was very close to Les Brown at that time. And, he would introduce me to Napoleon Hill. And we was talking about watching this on a VHS cassette. It was in black and white. And Napoleon Hill would talk about Think and Grow Rich and talk about the laws of success. And it was just fascinating. It was fascinating to know how powerful we are, to know that, you're actually not your mind. So, if your mind's controlling you, you're kind of like a slave to circumstances because your mind could be conditioned all messed up. Your mind is a tool, for you to navigate. You're like this pure spirit, with this consciousness. Like you're just like this immortal, spiritual energy that has a mind and a body just to have this great human experience. And you can actually give commands to your mind, hence affirmations and things like that, to control basically your behavior. Just don't ever forget this, guys. Your mind controls your actions. Yeah. And your actions determine your results. That'll never change. So you have to be able to control your own mind to have freedom and to truly win. You can't blame other people for sparking your emotions. It happens every day, all day, but no, these are your emotions that are supposed to be controlled by your mind. Now, you can respond with poise, but if you're reacting out of control, that's social immaturity, and it's very hard to win that way. You're gonna wind up with high blood pressure, having a heart attack. Okay. So anyway, personal growth and development, guys, is the key. It's something I've studied for decades. It's a work in progress. It never stops. Until your last breath, hopefully you will be fighting to be the best version of yourself. Hopefully you'll be fighting to just eliminate all your character defects. Hopefully you'll be striving every single day for emotional intelligence. You'll be fighting to treat people better. You'll be fighting to have better communication skills. Every day you'll be growing and growing and growing because you'll be watching and listening, and you know, these gates to your soul, you will protect them. Okay? Personal growth and development champions. And so I really feel that the next pillar is undoubtedly one of the most important, because most people quit when it comes to their goals and dreams. Most people fail for a lack of information. And there's one thing I believe that every organization should focus on if they have a system, and that's accountability. Because accountability will help systems create the desired results. Accountability will help people get to the finish line when otherwise they may have sabotaged or focused on bad habits of quitting before they win. Accountability comes from teams and mentors. Find an accountability partner. Don't be scared. Find someone that you can tell your goals and dreams to. Let them hold you accountable. Because sometimes, guys, you will do more for someone else than you'll do for yourself. And sometimes you lose your self-edge or self-esteem because you get so caught up with lying to yourself over and over and over again. And every time you quit, you know, you lose your internal morale. You lose your own belief in yourself. So you fight and you fight and you fight and you fight, and you have that accountability partner holding you down, like you can do it, or getting in your face and giving you that tough love and say, hey, keep your word. You know, where's that integrity? You know, I thought that you were doing this for your children. I thought you were doing, they could remind you of what you said when no one was looking and you were inspired and fired up. But you need that. You know, accountability is major on all levels. I mean, you're in the boot camp, the Navy SEALs, you know, you're a soldier, and you know your life is on the line. And you got to know that that person in that bunker next to you, that person in that warfare next to you, they've been trained. They have discipline. You're holding each other accountable because lives are at stake. Now, if this person didn't go through a boot camp that was strenuous, you wouldn't be able to trust that they were thorough enough to protect you. But because you know they went through something, they were held accountable. Now, here you are as soldiers, you believe that, hey, I am my brother's keeper. My brother has my back. I can be accountable for my brother, and my brother can be accountable for me, because look what we went through in the trenches. We didn't quit. So now you're holding each other accountable, but you know the accountability has already been achieved because you know what they went through. Without a boot camp, without accountability, you may have a coward sitting next to you. You may have someone who, in the moment of the intensity, freezes up. And that could affect your performance. But take it all the way back to sports. Is there any championships being won without coaches holding players accountable? Players holding players accountable. Hey, how about holding ourselves accountable? But it gets to that point, right? So accountability comes to the point where you get so strong with your personal growth and development that you can start holding yourself accountable. But it's okay if you're not there. Most of us aren't. We need someone, we need help. Most systems, organizations that I've ever seen fall apart because there was no policing of activity. There was nothing mandatory. It was just creative freedom, people running around like chickens with their heads cut off, and eventually things would fall because there was no accountability. You should hold I mean, you got to do it with permission. You don't want to bully someone, but if they give you permission to hold them accountable and vice versa, it can be highly effective. So I just believe that, if you focus on personal growth and development and you have accountability partners in the system and the goals and dreams that you are focusing on, you're going to win as it pertains to financial literacy, getting your money right, building up your health and your fitness, building up your wellness. You're going to win. And when you win, there's only one thing to do left. These are the 5 pillars of the uncommon movement. We're talking about health and wellness. We're talking about financial literacy. We're talking about personal growth and development. We're talking about accountability. And then the key is, once you get where you are going, you pause and you get back. Get rich and get back. And I mean, I think this is just so powerful. I mean, I just know that, again, I just think about growing up and how the man that raised me, at this health food store was so giving to the community. I mean, maybe that's why, 45 years right downtown, maybe that's why, the giving spirit, helping people, making people, making a person smile every day, extending your hand, making an impact on another person's life, right? Never met a bigger giver than my mom. I mean, she would help feed anyone, almost give you her last dime. I mean, not literally, but I'm talking about just like someone that you could just see God has her back from day one forever because she gives so much. Giving back is everything. I think it comes to the point where you're going to come full circle in life, and you're going to realize the purpose is empowering other people, giving back to other people, trying to make the world a better place. What is your skill set? What are your gifts? What deposit can you make on the world to make everything better, to shift things in a more beautiful, righteous, loving, empathetic, compassionate space? I mean, that's eventually where you evolve to if you are a good person, giving back. And it's just, and I look at this and I carry not just the uncommon wardrobe, okay? Not just the uncommon wardrobe, but I carry the uncommon mindset, because every time I eat now or have a drink somewhere, I'm thinking about that tip differently. I'm just thinking about it differently. I'm thinking about, what does add more joy to a person's life based on how I respond in this situation. Anytime I have a chance to give, like you always have this conversation with yourself, man, like, to be selfless or selfish, to focus on self-preservation or to just give more and empower another person. And you'll be shocked how good it feels to continuously, as a rhythm, make the decision to give more, to put a bigger smile on another person's face, even with compliments. It's giving. It's not always monetary. It's not always materialistic. It's acts of service. It's the words that you use. So, I mean, I couldn't be more prouder than being a part of a movement that focuses on, again, health and fitness, financial freedom, personal growth and development, support and accountability, and the idea of giving back in whatever capacity you can. And, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that, you see the value as well. And just remember, hey, tomorrow's not promised. So look at it as day one, and let's go hard, to accomplish our goals and dreams. Let's go hard to make a difference in other people's lives. And it's worth it. So this was my deposit for the evening. This was episode 32. I want everybody to get excited. We have a guest next week, Mr. Gabriel Expanza. I'll wait till next week to tell you about this titan of a man here in Houston, Texas. Owns a lot of media outlets, and a big time networker, a man who's built, a lot of wealth throughout the Latin and Hispanic communities and for himself and his family. Just an amazing, phenomenal gentleman. On episode 33, we're excited about it. Again, my partner is probably just landing, getting back into the States from Kazakhstan. And so next week, me and Dan are going to tear it up. But tonight, guys, again, I just wanted to share with you my vision, my version of the uncommon movement and some of the principles that we stand on and why this is so important to us. So, guys, again, please don't forget to like the broadcast. Please don't forget to support the broadcast. You can go right here on YouTube and you can check out all 32 episodes prior to tonight. Uncommon Men Global 1%. We're excited about that. We're growing. The revolution is being televised. And this has just been an awesome experience. So with that being said, I want to thank everybody for joining us, joining me tonight. Thank you for locking in. Be inspired, be blessed. We're going to be back next Monday and every Monday bringing you an uncommon experience so you can take notes and look at all the other episodes and put together a database of facts and terms and situations, rules of engagement. They hear all these men who are winning tell you their story, and you're going to find so many similarities, but eventually you'll have a list of things that you could follow that should inspire you and your family and your sons and uncles and nephews and your boys and everybody for years to come. All right. So let's continue to win because failure is not an option. All right, my friends, we came, we saw, we conquered. We will see you next week.